Most $70 AAA games feel like expensive tech demos with 4-hour campaigns and endless microtransactions, but what if I told you the best gaming experiences you can buy right now are the ones everyone called failures? These 8 games flopped hard at launch but offer more genuine value than anything releasing this year. Let's dive in. Titanfall 2 got absolutely destroyed by one of the worst release windows in gaming history. EA sandwiched it directly between Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and Battlefield 1 in October 2016. Two massive franchises crushed this masterpiece before anyone could discover what they were missing. The campaign alone justifies every penny of full price. This isn't your typical 4-hour afterthought tacked onto multiplayer. Why fun? Titanfall 2 delivers the most perfectly paced single-player FPS experience of the last decade. Every level introduces new mechanics, tests your skills, then moves on before anything gets stale. The wall running system feels better than any modern shooter. You're not just running on walls because it looks cool. The level design forces you to think vertically, chaining together movements that feel like interactive parkour. What? When you nail a perfect run through an enemy base, sliding under pipes, wall running around corners, and dropping into your Titan at the perfect moment, nothing else compares. Then there's the time manipulation level. Effect and Cause takes you through a research facility where you can shift between past and present versions of the same space. Past you shows a clean, functioning lab. Present you reveals the same area destroyed and crawling with enemies. You're constantly switching timelines to solve puzzles and outmaneuver threats. It's pure gaming genius that uses mechanics no other shooter even attempts. BT7274, your Titan companion, creates one of the best partnerships in gaming. This isn't some annoying AI that gets in your way. BT learns, adapts, and develops genuine personality throughout the campaign. The relationship feels earned, not forced. When the story hits its emotional peaks, you actually care, because the game spent time building that connection. Now, the multiplayer remains unmatched for pure movement joy. Pilots zip around maps with incredible speed while massive titans duke it out below. The skill ceiling is incredibly high, but the game never punishes new players for learning. Every match feels like controlled chaos, where individual skill and team coordination both matter. Most modern campaigns are forgettable shooting galleries designed to funnel you toward multiplayer or battle passes. Titanfall 2 respects your time and intelligence. It teaches you mechanics through gameplay, not tutorials. It tells a complete story without sequel bait. It creates moments you'll remember years later. The technical execution is flawless too. Respawn Entertainment optimized this game beautifully. It runs at solid 60 FPS, loads quickly, and looks incredible even on older hardware. No day one patches, no broken promises, just a complete experience that works exactly as advertised. You can regularly find Titanfall 2 for around $30, but honestly, it's worth full retail price. Compare it to any recent AAA shooter. Most give you a throwaway campaign, mediocre multiplayer, and aggressive monetization. Titanfall 2 gives you two complete experiences that complement each other perfectly. The tragedy is that millions of players missed this because of EA's terrible timing decision. Call of Duty and Battlefield dominated the conversation, while this innovative masterpiece got buried. But that means you can discover it fresh right now, experiencing one of the finest shooters ever made without the hype baggage. Every wall run, every Titan fight, every perfectly timed jump feels intentional and rewarding. This is what happens when developers focus on creating the best possible game instead of chasing trends or maximizing engagement metrics. Titanfall 2 proves that innovation and polish still matter more than marketing budgets. Prey suffered from one of the most confusing marketing campaigns in recent memory. Thus, Desta slapped the Prey name on Arcane Studios' spiritual successor to System Shock, confusing fans who expected something connected to the 2006 original. The recycled title and vague trailers made this look like generic sci-fi shooting when it's actually the last true immersive sim that respects player intelligence. This is what happens when a studio trusts you to figure things out. Talos Ice Station feels like the most detailed game world ever created. Every room tells a story through environmental details. You'll find coffee cups still warm on desks, personal emails revealing office drama, and security footage showing exactly how everything went wrong. The environmental storytelling puts most AAA narratives to shame because it treats you like an intelligent adult who can piece together clues. The Typhon aliens aren't just bullet sponges waiting to be shot. Mimics can disguise themselves as any object in the environment. That coffee cup might attack you. That chair could be planning your death. The paranoia this creates transforms every room into a puzzle. You start questioning every item, scanning everything, developing genuine fear of mundane objects. No other game creates this specific type of psychological tension. But here's what makes Prey brilliant. Every problem has multiple solutions through creative systems interaction. Need to reach a high ledge? You could find a keycard, hack the door, break through a window, transform into a small object and slip through a gap, or use the glue cannon to build your own staircase. The game never tells you there's one correct path. It gives you tools and lets your creativity solve problems. The skill system reflects this philosophy perfectly. You can focus on human abilities like hacking and repair, or embrace Typhon powers that let you mimic objects and read minds. Each approach fundamentally changes how you experience the station. A stealth hacker plays completely differently than someone who embraces alien abilities. Both paths feel equally valid and rewarding. Talos Ice Station connects in ways that put modern level design to shame. Areas loop back on themselves, shortcuts unlock as you gain new abilities, and secrets reward thorough exploration. This isn't an open world filled with map markers. It's a carefully crafted space where every room serves multiple purposes and every ability opens new possibilities. The weapon crafting system encourages experimentation without overwhelming complexity. You're constantly finding new materials and blueprints, but the interface stays clean and intuitive. Upgrading your wrench to deal more damage feels just as satisfying as crafting exotic alien technology. Every tool has multiple uses beyond its obvious function. Combat rewards creativity over reflexes. You can fight Typhons directly, but clever players find ways to turn enemies against each other, use environmental hazards, or avoid fights entirely through careful planning. The game celebrates smart thinking over quick shooting, making every encounter feel like a puzzle with multiple solutions. The story unfolds through discovery rather than exposition dumps. You're constantly uncovering new layers about what happened on Talosvar, who you really are, and what the Typhons actually want. Multiple endings reflect your choices and methods, giving real weight to how you approach problems throughout the game. Most modern games hold your hand and point you toward the next objective. Prey drops you into a complex situation and trusts you to figure it out. It's challenging, rewarding, and absolutely worth full price for anyone who misses games that treat players like intelligent problem solvers rather than passive consumers of content. Sleeping Dogs got dismissed as just another GTA clone, despite having a completely unique identity. Square Enix's marketing failed to communicate what made this game special, so most players wrote it off as a cheap knockoff of Rockstar's formula. The Hong Kong crime setting looked generic in trailers, and the combat system seemed like standard third-person action. Everyone missed the point entirely. This is the best crime game most people never played. Wei Shen's undercover cop story has genuine emotional weight that puts most crime narratives to shame. You're not some psychopath causing chaos for fun. You're a dedicated officer trying to infiltrate the Sun On Yi triad while maintaining your moral compass. The tension between duty and survival creates real stakes that most open-world games completely ignore. Hong Kong feels alive and culturally authentic in ways that shame bigger-budget productions. The neon-soaked streets pulse with energy. Street vendors hawk food in Cantonese. Pedestrians react naturally to your presence. Rain creates gorgeous reflections on wet pavement. This isn't some generic urban playground. It's a living, breathing representation of Hong Kong that respects the culture it's depicting. The martial arts combat system makes every fight feel like a choreographed movie sequence. Wei moves with fluid precision, chaining together strikes, counters, and environmental kills that look absolutely brutal. You're not mashing buttons hoping for the best. Every input feels deliberate and impactful. Grabbing an enemy and slamming their face into a fish tank or throwing them off a rooftop creates visceral satisfaction that button-mashing combat never achieves. Environmental kills elevate standard brawling into something cinematic. Phone booths become execution chambers. Kitchen equipment turns into torture devices. Car doors slam enemies into unconsciousness. The game encourages you to scan every fight area for creative finishing opportunities. Finding new ways to brutalize opponents never gets old because the animations are so perfectly crafted. The driving feels weighty and satisfying without being overly realistic. Cars have genuine heft and momentum. Motorcycles zip through traffic with appropriate agility. The physics engine creates spectacular crashes and chases that feel dangerous without being frustrating. Racing through narrow Hong Kong streets while dodging obstacles creates genuine tension. Side activities actually serve the narrative instead of padding runtime. Karaoke sessions reveal character depth. Street racing builds relationships with other criminals. Even simple fetch quests connect to Wei's dual identity as cop and criminal. Nothing feels like meaningless busywork because everything reinforces the central story themes. The voice acting brings authentic Hong Kong flavor to every conversation. Characters switch between English and Cantonese naturally. The dialogue feels genuine rather than stereotypical. Wei Shen himself navigates between cultures convincingly, making his internal conflicts feel real and earned. Most open-world crime games focus on chaos and destruction. Sleeping Dogs focuses on character development and cultural authenticity. Wei's journey from outsider to insider creates genuine emotional investment. You care about his relationships, his moral choices, and his ultimate fate because the game earned that investment through consistent character work. The technical presentation holds up beautifully even today. Lighting effects create gorgeous atmosphere during both day and night sequences. Character animations remain fluid and impactful. The soundtrack perfectly balances traditional Chinese instruments with modern electronic beats. Everything feels cohesive and polished. You can find Sleeping Dogs for around $20 now, but it delivers more genuine value than most full-price releases. The campaign offers 15 to 20 hours of quality content without padding. Every mission serves the story, every location feels purposeful. This game proves that innovation comes from execution, not just concepts. Taking familiar crime game elements and filtering them through authentic Hong Kong culture creates something genuinely fresh. Sleeping Dogs deserved massive success but got buried under bigger marketing budgets and franchise recognition. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy arrived with zero fanfare because Square Enix had already poisoned the well. Their Avengers game launched as a broken microtransaction-infested live service disaster that killed enthusiasm for Marvel games overnight. When Guardians dropped in October 2021, most players assumed it would be more of the same corporate cash grab garbage. The marketing barely tried to convince anyone otherwise. This might be the biggest missed opportunity in recent gaming history. Guardians of the Galaxy is everything Avengers should have been. It's a purely single-player, story-driven masterpiece with zero live service elements, no battle passes, no premium currencies, and no fear of missing out mechanics. Just a complete game that respects your time and money. The writing captures the humor and heart of the movies perfectly without feeling like a cheap imitation. Star-Lord's constant pop culture references land because they serve character development, not just cheap laughs. Drax's literal interpretations create genuine comedy moments. Rocket's aggressive attitude masks deeper insecurities. Groot's limited vocabulary somehow conveys complex emotions. These characters feel like real people, not marketing-approved action figures. Combat makes you feel like you're directing a superhero team rather than playing a standard action game. You control Star-Lord directly, but every fight revolves around coordinating your teammates' abilities. Gamora delivers devastating sword strikes. Drax grabs and throws enemies around like ragdolls. Rocket deploys explosive gadgets. Groot creates barriers and restrains opponents. Success depends on reading situations and calling the right plays. The huddle system transforms routine battles into epic moments. When things get desperate, you can call the team together for a pep talk. Choose the right response to their concerns, and everyone gets a massive damage boost. Pick wrong and only Star-Lord benefits. But here's the brilliant part. When the huddle ends successfully, an 80s banger kicks in and the team goes absolutely wild. Fighting to White Wedding or Don't Stop Me Now, while your powers are supercharged, creates pure gaming euphoria. The soundtrack integration goes beyond just background music. Star-Lord's Walkman becomes a gameplay element. Certain tracks enhance specific abilities. The music reflects his emotional state during story moments. Licensed songs aren't just nostalgia bait, they're woven into the narrative structure. When the final countdown starts playing during a crucial scene, it feels earned rather than manipulative. Each Guardian gets genuine character development throughout the 12-hour campaign. You learn about Gamora's relationship with Nebula, Drax's tragic backstory, Rocket's painful origins, and Groot's ancient wisdom. Star-Lord himself grows from selfish outlaw to genuine leader. The relationships feel authentic because the game takes time to explore what makes each character tick. The Milano spaceship serves as your mobile base between missions. You can explore different areas, trigger conversations between team members, and discover personal items that reveal backstory details. These quiet moments between action sequences create genuine attachment to the characters. You start caring about their relationships and individual struggles. Decision points throughout the story actually matter. Your choices affect team dynamics, mission outcomes, and character relationships. Some decisions create immediate consequences while others pay off hours later. The game remembers how you've treated each Guardian and reflects that in their behavior towards Star-Lord. Most superhero games focus on power fantasy over character development. Guardians of the Galaxy proves you can have both. The combat feels appropriately heroic while the story explores themes of family, redemption, and responsibility. It's a complete package that deserved massive success but got buried under assumptions about Marvel game quality. If any of these games caught your eye, hit the links in the description to check them out. These titles deserve support from real gamers who appreciate genuine quality over marketing hype. Vanquish represents Platinum Games at their absolute peak, but it landed with a thud in 2010 because mainstream audiences weren't ready for something this intense and uncompromising. The game clocks in at around 6 hours, which immediately turned off players expecting 20-hour campaigns. Critics called it too short and too niche. The futuristic setting looked generic in screenshots. Most people dismissed it as another forgettable third-person shooter without understanding what they were missing. This is the purest distillation of stylish action gaming ever created. Every single moment is designed to to maximize adrenaline flow. You're not walking through corridors listening to exposition or collecting meaningless collectibles. From the opening sequence to the final boss, Vanquish delivers non-stop kinetic energy that never lets up. It's 6 hours of absolute perfection rather than 20 hours of padded mediocrity. The boost sliding mechanic creates a unique rhythm that no other game has successfully copied. Sam Gideon can slide across battlefields at incredible speed while time slows around him. You're constantly chaining together slides, dodges, and aerial maneuvers while unleashing devastating firepower. When you master the system, combat becomes a deadly dance where positioning and timing matter more than raw firepower. The weapon transformation system keeps you constantly adapting your playstyle. Your assault rifle can morph into a heavy machine gun, rocket launcher, or precision sniper rifle instantly. Each form handles completely differently, encouraging you to switch tactics based on enemy types and battlefield conditions. Running out of ammo forces creative weapon management rather than just reloading the same gun repeatedly. Boss fights feel like interactive anime sequences brought to life. Massive robots tower over you while unleashing screen-filling attacks. You're sliding between their legs, boosting up ramps, and targeting weak points while everything explodes around you. These aren't just damage sponges waiting to be worn down. Each boss requires specific strategies and split-second timing to defeat. When you finally land the killing blow, it feels genuinely earned. The scoring system adds incredible replayability for players who want to master the mechanics. Every kill, every stylish maneuver, and every risky play contributes to your final ranking. Getting an S rank on higher difficulties requires perfect understanding of enemy patterns, weapon properties, and movement mechanics. You'll replay sections dozens of times trying to optimize your performance, discovering new strategies each time. Environmental destruction reaches absurd levels without feeling gratuitous. Concrete pillars crumble under rocket fire. Glass windows shatter in slow motion. Entire building facades collapse during major firefights. The destruction serves gameplay purposes too, creating new cover positions and alternate routes through combat arenas. Nothing feels scripted or predetermined. The visual design holds up beautifully, even today. Sam's white armor gleams against industrial backdrops. Particle effects create gorgeous light shows during major battles. The frame rate stays locked at 60 FPS even during the most chaotic sequences. Platinum Games optimized every aspect of the presentation to maintain that crucial sense of speed and fluidity. Most modern shooters pad their runtime with fetch quests, walking segments, and mandatory stealth sections. Vanquish respects your time by focusing exclusively on what it does best. Every encounter teaches you something new about the mechanics. Every boss fight pushes your skills to new limits. Every replay reveals deeper layers of complexity. The difficulty curve is perfectly calibrated to push skilled players without frustrating newcomers. Normal mode provides a solid challenge that encourages mastery. Hard mode demands perfect execution and deep system knowledge. Hard mode is reserved for absolute masters who want the ultimate test. Each difficulty level feels distinctly different rather than just increasing enemy health. You can find Vanquish for around $15 now, but it's worth paying full price for the definitive action game experience. This is what happens when developers focus on creating the most refined version of their vision rather than chasing market trends or extending playtime artificially. Enslaved Odyssey to the West launched in 2010 with gorgeous visuals that couldn't overcome a weak marketing push and terrible timing. Ninja Theory's post-apocalyptic adventure got buried under bigger releases and quickly forgotten despite being one of the most emotionally resonant games of that generation. The colorful, nature-reclaimed world looked too cheerful for grimdark-obsessed audiences. Most players expected another brown and gray wasteland shooter, not a hopeful journey through a beautiful disaster. This game chose hope over cynicism when every other post-apocalyptic story was wallowing in despair. The world ended, but nature fought back and won. Vents cover skyscrapers, trees grow through abandoned cars, and wildlife roams freely through former cities. Its devastation filtered through optimism, creating environments that feel alive rather than dead. The art direction remains stunning even today, proving that creativity trumps raw polygons every time. Monkey and Trip create one of the best partnerships in gaming through genuine character development rather than forced romance. She's not some helpless damsel waiting to be rescued. He's not some gruff anti-hero hiding a heart of gold. They're two survivors who need each other to navigate a dangerous world, and their relationship evolves naturally through shared experiences and mutual respect. The Enslaver headband mechanic creates fascinating tension between freedom and responsibility. Their Crip forces Monkey to protect her through technology, but as they journey together, the compulsion becomes genuine care. You watch their relationship shift from master and slave to partners to something deeper. The headband becomes a metaphor for all relationships, exploring how we willingly bind ourselves to people we love. Platforming and exploration reward curiosity without overwhelming overwhelming complexity. Monkey moves with ape-like agility, swinging from pipes, climbing walls, and leaping between platforms with fluid grace. The level design guides you naturally toward objectives while hiding secrets for thorough explorers. Every area offers multiple paths and hidden story elements that flesh out the world's backstory. Combat stays simple but satisfying throughout the adventure. Monkey's staff can extend for long-range strikes or compact for quick combos. Trip provides tactical support by distracting enemies, highlighting weak points, and creating diversions. You're not mashing buttons mindlessly, you're coordinating attacks with your partner while managing multiple threats simultaneously. The supporting cast adds depth without bloating the narrative. Pigsy brings comic relief that never undermines the story's emotional core. The various communities you encounter show different approaches to survival, from isolated hermits to thriving settlements. Each location feels lived in and purposeful, rather than just another combat arena. Voice acting brings authentic emotion to every conversation. Andy Serkis delivers nuanced performance capture work that makes Monkey feel genuinely alive. Lindsay Shaw gives Trip intelligence and agency rather than just making her a plot device. Their chemistry develops convincingly throughout the journey, making you invested in their ultimate fate. The ending recontextualizes the entire journey in ways that will stick with you for years. Without spoiling anything, the final revelation forces you to reconsider everything you thought you understood about the world and the characters' motivations. It's the kind of narrative twist that enhances rather than negates what came before. Most post-apocalyptic games focus on violence and despair. Enslaved focuses on connection and renewal. It's about finding beauty in destruction, hope in darkness, and love in the most unlikely circumstances. The game deserved massive success, but got lost in a crowded release window filled with more aggressive marketing campaigns. You can find Enslaved for around $10 now, but it offers more genuine emotional value than most full-price releases. This is storytelling that trusts you to care about characters rather than just explosions. It's a hidden narrative gem that deserves rediscovery by anyone who appreciates games that have something meaningful to say. Dishonored 2 launched with some of the worst technical issues in recent memory, particularly on PC, where frame drops and stuttering made the game nearly unplayable for many players. Arcane Studios fixed these problems within weeks, but the damage was done. First impressions matter, and when your stealth game runs at 15 FPS, nobody cares how brilliant the level design is. The reputation never recovered despite becoming one of the most technically polished games available today. This is level design that's literally studied in game development schools around the world. The Clockwork Mansion alone redefines what's possible in interactive architecture. Rooms transform around you as you pull levers and flip switches, walls rotate to reveal new passages, floors shift to create entirely different layouts. You're not just navigating a building, you're solving a massive mechanical puzzle while avoiding detection. No other game has attempted anything this ambitious with environmental storytelling. The Stilton Manor time-shifting sequence takes the concept even further. You're moving between past and present versions of the same location, watching how a single traumatic event destroyed everything. The mansion exists in two states simultaneously, and your actions in one timeline affect the other. Solving puzzles requires thinking across time itself, creating moments of pure gaming genius that showcase what the medium can achieve when developers push boundaries. Emily and Corvo offer genuinely different playstyles rather than just cosmetic variations. Emily's far-reach ability lets you grab distant objects and enemies, creating unique traversal and combat opportunities. Her domino power links multiple targets, so whatever happens to one affects them all. Corvo's classic blink teleportation and bend time abilities encourage different approaches to the same challenges. Playing through as both characters feels like experiencing two separate games. The stealth sandbox rewards creativity over prescribed solutions in ways that shame modern stealth games. Want to eliminate a target? You can poison their drink, arrange an accident, turn their allies against them, or simply make them disappear without a trace. Every assassination contract offers multiple approaches, each with different consequences and story implications. The game celebrates clever thinking over perfect execution. Non-lethal playthroughs completely change the narrative tone and ending outcomes. Spare your enemies and watch how mercy creates different ripple effects throughout the world. Kill everyone and see how violence begets more violence. The chaos system isn't just a morality meter, it's a reflection of how your methods shape the world around you. High chaos playthroughs feel genuinely different from low chaos runs. The art direction creates one of the most distinctive visual styles in gaming. Dunwall and Serkanos feel like living paintings with their whale oil technology, steam-powered machinery, and Victorian-inspired architecture. Character designs blend realism with stylized exaggeration that makes everyone memorable. The visual consistency never breaks, creating complete immersion in this alternate history world. Replayability reaches absurd levels for players who want to master every system. Each mission offers dozens of different routes, methods, and outcomes. Speedrunners have discovered techniques that completely bypass intended paths. Achievement hunters can spend hundreds of hours perfecting ghost runs, clean hands playthroughs, and flesh and steel challenges. Every replay reveals new secrets and possibilities. Most stealth games punish experimentation with instant failure states. Dishonored 2 encourages bold moves by giving you tools to recover from mistakes. Got spotted? Use Emily's Shadow Walk to vanish instantly. Alerted too many guards? Corvo's bend time lets you reposition before they react. The game wants you to feel powerful while still maintaining tension and challenge. You can find Dishonored 2 for around $20 now, but it's worth paying full price for the definitive immersive sim experience. This is what happens when developers trust players to create their own stories within carefully crafted systems. The technical issues are long gone, leaving only one of the finest stealth action games ever made. Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen scared away casual players with its complex systems and unforgiving difficulty curve. Capcom's fantasy RPG demanded patience and experimentation when most players wanted immediate gratification. The interface felt clunky compared to streamlined competitors. Character creation overwhelmed newcomers with countless options. The pawn system confused people who expected simple AI companions. Most gave up before discovering the most ambitious and unique RPG combat system ever attempted. This is what fighting dragons should actually feel like. You're not standing at a safe distance, casting spells, or hiding behind cover, shooting weak points. You're grabbing onto massive claws, climbing up scaly necks, and stabbing ancient beasts in the face while they thrash around trying to shake you off. The climbing system makes every encounter with large enemies feel genuinely epic rather than just another damaged sponge fight. The pawn system creates the most sophisticated AI companion experience in any RPG. Your main pawn learns from your playstyle, remembers enemy weaknesses, and adapts tactics based on your preferences. Recruited pawns bring knowledge from other players' worlds, sharing strategies and discoveries across the entire community. They'll warn you about upcoming ambushes, suggest alternate routes, and coordinate attacks without constant micromanagement. Combat variety across vocations completely changes your entire gameplay approach. Warriors wield massive two-handed weapons that can launch smaller enemies across battlefields. Striders zip around with daggers and bows, striking weak points with surgical precision. Sorcerers channel devastating spells that reshape entire combat encounters. Magic archers fire homing projectiles that seek out multiple targets simultaneously. Each vocation feels like playing a different game entirely. The skill system rewards deep specialization while encouraging experimentation. Master a vocation completely and you unlock augments that enhance other classes. A warrior who studied magic gains spell resistance. A mage who trained as a fighter can wear heavier armor. The interconnected progression system creates countless character build possibilities that remain viable throughout the entire adventure. Bitter Black Isle expansion essentially functions as a full sequel packed into DLC. This massive underground labyrinth features the most challenging enemies, the best equipment, and the most complex level design in the entire game. Cursed items add another layer of mystery and progression. New enemy types test every skill you've developed. The expansion alone offers dozens of hours of premium content. Night cycles transform the entire world into something genuinely dangerous. Darkness isn't just a visual effect, it fundamentally changes gameplay mechanics. Stronger monsters emerge after sunset. Navigation becomes treacherous without proper lighting. Your pawns express genuine fear and suggest making camp until dawn. Most modern games use day-night cycles as cosmetic features. Dragon's Dogma makes darkness a core gameplay element. The technical presentation holds up remarkably well even today. Spell effects create spectacular light shows during major battles. Character animations remain fluid and impactful across all vocations. The frame rate stays stable even when multiple large enemies are on screen simultaneously. Environmental destruction adds tactical depth to every encounter. You can find Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen for around $30 now, but it delivers more gameplay depth and replayability than most full-price releases. This is what happens when developers prioritize mechanical innovation over market appeal. The learning curve is steep, but the payoff is unlike anything else in gaming. These games prove that commercial failure doesn't equal creative failure. Real value comes from innovation and passion, not marketing budgets. What underappreciated masterpiece would you defend with your life? Drop your picks in the comments and subscribe for more deep dives into overlooked gaming gems.